Once again, you already know what it is, and you already know where you have reached the number one up and coming professional wrestling podcast anywhere in the world. This is Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. It is Friday, June 6th. We're so happy for you to be with us on this given evening. And there's a whole lot of going on in the world of professional wrestling. A big shout out to Clown13Z4 Tweezy. We appreciate you being here tonight, guys. There's so many things to talk about, so we're going to get right into it. First of all, big programming note to let you guys know each and every Monday night, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time, myself and Conrad Cushman bring you Clash of the Podcast. That is on the Everything Pro Wrestling channel. Also, on Friday nights, obviously you're here right now, we bring you HUBBanomics right here on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. So we want to thank you. We encourage you to follow us on social media and interact as best you can as we continue to bring you the best in the world of professional wrestling. Again, it's Friday, June 6th. We're going to be with you for about a half hour before SmackDown. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys share the video to help out with the algorithm. It would really be appreciated. So here's the deal, guys. Obviously, we know that there's a lot to talk about when it comes to pro wrestling and the storylines and things of that nature. It's pretty common stuff, right? However, there's a lot more to it than that, and there's a lot more to be discussed than that, because when you think about pro wrestling, you also have to think about what happens behind the scenes. Obviously, the educated wrestling fan has been privy to certain information that we weren't privy to in the past. There are certain things that were talked about back in the day that were kind of hidden to us, and now they've been exposed. So with that, obviously controversies as it relates to interaction between superstars, romantic relationships, business relationships, the whole 9 yards. However, contract disputes, releases, and things like that were something that we kind of only were able to be privy to once we noticed that one wrestler was gone from a particular organization. Now we have inside information. Now there's the internet. There's the days of dirt sheets are over with. You can just Google something and find out right away what's going on and have a better understanding of what's going on as it relates to the world of professional wrestling and everything that it entails. Some of the stuff, I have to admit, it's a shame that we know about it because it kind of takes away from the enjoyment that we have of the product. However, some of it is important as well, and it's good to know about certain things because it puts you in a position to be informed about your favorite wrestling organization and informed about how they conduct themselves from a business perspective. Let's talk and get right into World Wrestling Entertainment, okay? World Wrestling Entertainment is the biggest professional wrestling organization in the world. There's no question about that. It's undisputed, and there is no denying that fact. Friday nights, 3 hours of SmackDown. Monday nights on Netflix, you have Monday Night Raw immediately following Clash of the Podcast with myself and Conrad. Tuesday nights, NXT. They have Evolve that's become a thing. LFG is a show where they're developing new superstars, one of which just debuted on NXT a couple of weeks ago. The list goes on and on. There's no question the power that WWE has in the pro wrestling community. However, when does that power either get diluted or manipulated to the point of no return? Let's dive into a couple of things. It's been reported by Jonathan Coachman, the former employee of WWE. You could take this with a grain of salt, that allegedly there are some rumblings of Triple H no longer being in power in the next 12 to 18 months. That is his prediction. That is Jonathan Coachman's prediction, according to Wrestling Inc. and other reliable sources. You can take that with a grain of salt, right? I've said it, Conrad said it, we've all said it from time to time. There are a great deal of people that believe that Triple H is doing a tremendous job as the head of creative in World Wrestling Entertainment. I am not one of them. Again, I'm going to use the same analogy that I've used many, many times. When something is here and then it's here, that doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Things can go from bad to not so bad. That doesn't mean it went from bad to good. I think the product has gone from bad to not so bad. There are some shining moments in World Wrestling Entertainment. The Jey Usos, the Judgment Days, even though some people go back and forth with me about whether they like the Judgment Day. I like the Judgment Day. There are some glaring things that are very good. The recent emergence of Naomi into the main event scene, Money in the Bank wise. The call-up of Stephanie Vaquer. Obviously, even though she's injured, the fantastic Bianca Belair. But for those beautiful things that we see on WWE television, there are far more things that just make you scratch your head. Now, some people might say, hey, the New Day are the World Tag Team Champions. That's good, right? Not really, because the New Day are being very poorly utilized to the point where we don't even know what the purpose was of the heel change. They turn their back on Big E. They make fun of the town that they're in. Big freaking deal. The Street Profits, one of the most talented tag teams in the world, are the WWE Tag Team Champions. But are they being utilized properly? Are they being featured properly? You can't say that they are. WrestleMania just came and went, and instead of having this epic six-way or six-man, three-way ladder match you had it on WrestleMania, you had it on SmackDown. How much do you respect the tag team titles? How much do you respect the Street Profits, really? That's my question. Clearly not that much. You have a 5-star athlete in Chad Gable dressed in a mask making a mockery of Lucha Libre. And that's what it is. Guys, you can let me know if you agree or disagree. It is a mockery of Lucha Libre, what they're doing with Chad Gable. It's not Chad Gable's fault. He's just doing what he's told. But at the end of the day, it's a complete and total mockery, in my opinion. The Rock, firmly implemented in the storyline leading into WrestleMania as he was, quote-unquote, trying to get Cody Rhodes to sell his soul at Elimination Chamber just for The Rock to not even appear at WrestleMania 41. Not to mention the outrageous, the ridiculous, the outlandish, the monumental, and quite frankly, disrespectful ticket prices for WWE live events. But I digress. Because what I want to talk about today is what could be the most egregious, ridiculous, outlandish thing that I've heard regarding WWE in a long, long time. We all agree, or should agree at least, regardless of the Cody fans that might be out there, regardless of the John Cena fans that might be out there, even somebody like myself, a Jey Uso fan, a Drew McIntyre fan, a CM Punk fan, whatever the case may be, there is one, and I repeat, one undisputed top guy in World Wrestling Entertainment. There is one undisputed top guy, in my opinion, possibly in the entire wrestling world. And his name is Roman Reigns, a man who went off the scene to deal with a life-threatening disease, relinquished the Universal title when people like myself were not fond of the big dog. I never liked the big dog. Came back, aligned himself with Paul Heyman, became undisputed champion, formed the Bloodline, and became the biggest box office attraction in the wrestling world. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. He came back to become undisputed champion and become the undisputed #1 box office attraction in the world. It is being reported by numerous sources that TKO, the parent company of World Wrestling Entertainment, is looking to possibly renegotiate the contract of Roman Reigns. TKO is reportedly, allegedly attempting to sit down at the negotiating table with Roman Reigns and his representatives to discuss a pay decrease. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. The #1 box office attraction in the wrestling world today. And they are looking to potentially, reportedly, renegotiate Roman Reigns' contract. And people have the audacity to say that WWE does good business. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. From shoddy, I said shoddy, disgraceful monopolizing of towns that AEW, All Elite Wrestling, have already booked in advance, to double booking venues like the ECW Arena in Pennsylvania, to alleged disgusting acts by its former owner and some talent, to the unwarranted release or lapse of contract of lifers that have dedicated their life and honestly forfeited some of his wrestling integrity to be a team player, like Ron Killings leaving the company, Carlito being underutilized. It's reprehensible. It's absolutely reprehensible, to the point where we are about to embark on a journey tomorrow, June 7th, 2025, where we are going to see a Money in the Bank pay-per-view that has 4 matches. 4. Do you not realize, ladies and gentlemen, and you probably do because you guys are educated fans, do you not realize that back in the day when WWE debuted a pay-per-view called In Your House, where Diesel, the World Wrestling Federation champion, defended his title against Psycho Sid and Todd Pettengill gave away a house? That pay-per-view had more than 4 matches. And you fast forward to 2025 and you have 4 scheduled matches for a pay-per-view. And I don't want to hear anybody say, well, what if somebody cashes in? That'll be 5 matches. Big freaking deal. Big freaking deal. How dare anyone say that WWE cares about the fans? How dare anyone say WWE cares about its own employees? I understand pay cuts. I understand kickbacks. But at the end of the day, you're telling me that they couldn't have found a position for Ron Killings? They couldn't have put him on a Legends contract? Really? They couldn't have found a spot to keep R-Truth? A man that's 50 years old plus and moves around like a 25-year-old? And despite your continued ridiculous attempts to make him look like a stumbling, bumbling idiot still gets positive crowd reactions? It makes me sick what they're doing. And for this report to come out that Jonathan Coachman reportedly has said that Triple H may be on the hot seat within the next 12 to 18 months, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Because for anybody who may not understand what I'm saying right about now, let me be perfectly clear. Triple H is not doing that good of a job. WrestleMania 40 was a layup. I've said it on Clash of the Podcast. I'll say it again now. WrestleMania 40 last year in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I could have booked that show. I could have had a big main event when you had The Undertaker and Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso and The Rock and John Cena and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. It's kind of hard to botch that. It's kind of hard to mess that up. But what happened when Triple H? What happened when Triple H really had to do everything on his own? This was WrestleMania 41. WrestleMania 41, in my opinion, chat, let me know if you agree or disagree. I believe WrestleMania 41 was the first WrestleMania that Triple H really was the one who planned it start to finish. Now, you can argue that he planned the whole WrestleMania 40 as well. You could argue that if you wanted to. But I think that was kind of the residuals of the previous regime. But in my opinion, WrestleMania 41 was the first WrestleMania that Triple H did from start to finish. That was his baby. And we all agree WrestleMania 41 was hot garbage. Let's get to the wonderful chat, man. I appreciate you guys. Clown 13Z4 Tweezy says, good afternoon. Happy afternoon to you too, man. How you doing? Joel in the building. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for being here. Quilly, he says, what's going on, Hubs? Your boy Sir Quills is here again to enjoy yet another dope edition of HUBBanomics. Let's get into it, bro. Hashtag HWW. I appreciate it. My tag team partner from Clash of the Podcast, Everything Pro Wrestling's Conrad is here. Appreciate you, my guy. M. Leezy, Faux Sheezy. Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a lovely Friday. I wish the same for you, my friend. Thank you for the retweet and the love on social media, my guy. I appreciate it. M. Leezy continues by saying, it's just nuts TKA wants the guy that carried WWE for the last 5 years to take a pay cut. You are not telling a lie, brother. You are not telling a lie. Big shout out to the only Vinny we like. Vinny in the building. He says, happy Friday and God bless y'all. God bless you too, my friend. Clown13, he says, if Chad, meaning Chad Gable, wasn't such a good wrestler, and besides the plate and the mask playing in the ring straight, I wouldn't say so. The things outside his control, that's the company does. Yeah, I agree. It's the company. Vinny says Roman Reigns deserves every penny he makes carrying WWE through the pandemic into the Netflix deals. 100%. M. Leezy says, it's funny. WWE squawking all over their record-breaking sales, but they're doing all these quote-unquote budget cuts. Interesting point. M. Leezy agreed. Every pay-per-view, every PLE is a record breaker, but you're making pay cuts? Sounds weird to me. Sir Quill says, and also think about it, Hubs. Chad Gable wasn't good enough to win the Intercontinental title, but he's good enough to cosplay a luchador, disgracing Lucha Libre and winning the Speed title. What? Facts, bro. Facts. Spitting facts is Sir Quills. Vinny says, let's be honest. Part of the WWE losing its steam is Roman Reigns being gone for the past 2 months. No argument there. Vinny says, Roman Reigns went from the big dog to the wrestler who can seriously say he's a top 10 wrestler of all time. Think about that character arc. I don't know if he's top 10, but he's in the ballpark, and he was never in the ballpark before, so that's a good point by you. Guy Will Gamble, welcome, my friend. Conrad says, Reign got a no-cut clause. He ain't negotiating jack. That's a fact. I hope he doesn't. Big shout out to Guy Will Gamble again. He says, back in the day, Reigns and Triple H would have been on Nitro the next week. I think you're probably right. The unmitigated gall, Guy Will Gamble says. Conrad says, by the way, they just booked in Texas a week after All In, trying to slow down those ticket sales. It's reprehensible, disgusting behavior, Conrad. I agree with you. Vinny says, to have a PLE only have 4 matches tomorrow, but charge fans an arm and a leg to go because it's in the Intuit Dome. That's a fact. It makes me sick, bro. They don't care anything about the fans. Guy Will Gamble says it's diabolical, monopolistic work. Agreed. Sir Quill says, are you trying to purposely lose your biggest names in your company by purposely decreasing and devaluing the worth of Roman Reigns? I think the answer is yes, sadly enough. M. Leezy says, WWE is a bunch of petty fools. There's no question about that. Clown130 says, I'm randomly going to an all-female indie show tomorrow and then got to catch up on all the GCW from the weekend before I even pay attention to Money in the Bank. Have fun, man. Have fun. Vinny says, TKO, think Roman Reigns is like Tom Brady TKO thinks Roman Reigns is like Tom Brady taking less money to stay on the Patriots. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, and it shouldn't happen. Conrad says, Baron Corbin said it recently. The days of loyalty being valued are over in the TKO era. There's no argument about that. I agree. Guy Will Gamble goes on to say, I don't think this is Triple H work, though, and WWE is playing a dangerous game. Guy Will Gamble says, now to say that he's doing a great, not to say that he's doing a great job, Triple H that is, but from what I've seen, I'd much rather have him than The Rock as far as decision makers in the company. That's debatable, but I respect your opinion. He also says they might be letting AEW back in the game if Triple H walks, no pun intended. I feel you on that. M. Leezy for Sheezy says, agree. The road to WrestleMania 41 was Triple H's booking from the beginning to the end. How long are guys like AJ Styles and Nakamura on the chopping block? And then TKO in debt, says Conrad. So here's the deal, guys. I don't give a crap if TKO's in debt. Thank you, Conrad, because that led me right. It's like Conrad's in the building tonight, leading me with those nice lead-ins right there. I don't give a crap if TKO is in debt. I don't give a rat's you know what if TKO is in debt. Figure it out in a different way than trying to chop Roman Reigns' salary, cutting people like Carlito, cutting people like Ron Killings. It's disgusting. It's disgusting what's going on here. And I'll tell you what, guys. I only watch WWE out of respect for the work I do with Conrad and for the respect that I have for our wonderful viewers, where I can be educated about the show. I will not be watching When Worlds Collide live tomorrow. I will not be watching Money in the Bank live tomorrow. I will catch it either late Saturday night after I come home from hanging out with my lady, or early Sunday before church or after church, or maybe not at all. Maybe not at all, because I'm not interested. I'm not interested in a 4-match PLE. I hate that stupid term. PLE, it's stupid. It's stupid. But I digress. WWE's in trouble, y'all. WWE's in trouble. And they may not be in financial trouble because they're charging $1,000 to sit in row XXXZ, but they are in trouble because WWE, sooner or later, guys, sooner or later, the fans are going to finally get on board with Sean Hubbard, and they're finally going to recognize the fact that this is not the product that it should be. It's not. Let's wake up and smell the coffee, y'all. WWE, in a lot of ways, is trash. I watch Raw about 30 minutes an episode. I see what Jey Uso's doing. I see what the Judgment Day is doing. I see what Seth Rollins is doing. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to watch the New Day in the World Tag Team title picture when that wonderful, and I'm saying this with respect for the New Day, when they're continuing to be underutilized. I'm not watching Chad Gable, by way of WWE making him do it, make a mockery of Lucha Libre. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Why would I watch that garbage? I'm not doing it. I'm not watching this Jade Cargill, very talented. Naomi, very talented. Bianca, extremely talented. Storyline, stagger and move along at a snail's pace when they should have put the machine behind all three of them. All three of them. Why is this moving so slow? I understand long-term storytelling, long-term writing, but my God, do you guys realize that Jade Cargill got thrown through that car in November? November! Who is she, Stone Cold Steve Austin? Is that what we're doing? Are we waiting 6 months, a year to figure out who did it? And then once we find out who did it, we have to wait another 6 months to actually get the payoff? Oh, my bad. You know what? I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I guess the payoff was when Jade Cargill beat her up and threw her up against the announce table. I guess the payoff was when Jade Cargill did a run-in and beat her up in the aisleway. Was that the payoff? My bad. Oh, I guess the payoff was that pretty weak, pretty average WrestleMania match. We really felt satisfied with that. Again, is Jade Cargill Stone Cold Steve Austin? Is this the 1999 Survivor Series? Somebody let me know. Is this the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit? Is that where this happened? Is Naomi Rikishi? Is there gonna be an accomplice like Triple H? Now you know, you dumb son of a. Is that what we're waiting for? Because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these talented, amazing superstars being underutilized over and over and over again. We're still waiting for Jacob Fatu to get his moment. We're still waiting for LA Knight. My God, we're still waiting for LA Knight to get his moment. Like, what is going on? Now, the only guy, and don't you dare tell me, because I've read these reports also, that it's because Roman Reigns has a part-time schedule? What? It's because Roman Reigns has a part-time schedule? Are we not forgetting what Conrad calls the Minute Maid Man, who was the WWE champion and was barely on television, making the most money in the company? But it's okay for him. But we got to have Roman Reigns take a pay cut because he's part-time? Are you dumb? What is happening? What has happened to the sport and entertainment that we love? I don't even recognize it anymore. It is predictable. It is boring. It is ludicrous what they are putting on my television. I pay Netflix for their subscription just for WWE. Thank God Conrad put me on to having a certain kind of phone, and then I stopped having to pay. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is people all over the world are paying to watch Netflix, ridiculous Netflix that have no movies and no TV shows that I'm interested in. But I have a Netflix account because I want to watch Monday Night freaking Raw, to watch the War Raiders unsuccessfully challenge the New Day for the World Tag Team titles, and then have Chad Gable, a decorated Olympian, dressed up like a lucha libre athlete, and get a Money in the Bank opportunity because he stuffs something in his head the way old school wrestler number one from back in the day in WCW used to do. Are you dumb? What is happening? Guy Will Gamble says, stupid, Randy Orton voice. Sir Quill says, I won't be watching Worlds Collide either. Maybe I'll watch Stephanie Vaquer and Vikingo if they are on, or if they are worth it. Fair enough. I got you on that. Guy Will Gamble says she did it for The Rock. I like that. And then Matt Lopez says, Naomi did it for Bianca. I like that. And then Conrad says, yes, it's a deadly game. That's a wrong one, though. That's the wrong one. Deadly game was the year before, my brother. Sir Quill says, is Jade Cargill going to be driving a Zamboni? I don't know, man. I don't know. Guy Will Gamble says, you should have been watching Madam Secretary to the Extra Value. I like that show. I'm not going to lie. Good recommendation. Madam Secretary is pretty good. Emily's, is Jade Cargill going to pour cement in Nick Aldis's car? I guess so. I guess so. That's what's next. My God. Sir Quill says, M. Leezy for Sheezy. I know, right? LOL. M. Leezy says, we see AJ Styles get beat with a dumb gimmick like that, too. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely reprehensible. What are we doing? What are we doing? And again, all this stuff we're talking about, guys, imagine if Roman Reigns never comes back. Bro. All I can say is this, y'all. We are in bad shape. But I'll tell you one thing that's good about all this. AEW's had a pretty darn good show the last couple months. Make sure you check out Conrad and my guy Derek as they review it every Wednesday. AEW has been doing their thing lately. I'm not going to cap, bro. It seems like they might be turning a corner. They may not be turning a corner as it relates to in-arena attendance, but their product is pretty freaking solid, man. Pretty freaking solid. Clown says, the Demon Finn lost from an act of God, the rope breaking. That's true. That was kind of rough, too. M. Leezy for she says, all this under the wonderful Triple H regime. I feel you on that, bro. And obviously, when he says wonderful, he's being sarcastic. I agree with him. Sir Quill said, is Jay Cargill going to beat Naomi in the hospital with her in a bedpan and stick a medical tool up her butt? I guess so. I guess so. Paging Dr. Austin, paging Dr. Naomi. AEW's been killing it and I'm loving it, M. Leezy says. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. All I can say is this, man. Thank God pro wrestling has more than one option because WWE has been trapped. Look, can WWE surprise me tomorrow? Will Worlds Collide be amazing? By the way, the fact that WWE bought AAA, not good. Let's stop acting like it's good. Not good, but I digress. Let's talk about how TNA and WWE are in bed together. Not good. Stop acting like it is. It's not good. Okay? It's not good. All money's not good money. Remember that. All money's not good money. So all I can say is this, man. Let's hope that getting rid of people like R-Truth, Carlito, Jakara Jackson, a very talented person, Jakara Jackson, and Metaphor. What's going on? I mean, it's ridiculous. People like Cora Jade released. I don't know, man. So again, Jonathan Coachman allegedly, according to Wrestling Inc. and other major sources, is saying that Triple H may be numbered as head of creative within the next 18 months. And there's also been reports from various sources that we have an issue as it relates to storyline writing, happiness amongst the other wrestlers, and also the possibility that they're trying to literally cut the pay of the most dominant professional wrestler in the industry over the past 4 years, Roman Reigns. I don't know. And Leezy keeping the funny going. He says, is Bianca going to be the higher power? It was me, Austin. It was me, Naomi. It was me. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God, it was me, Jade. It was me, Jade, all along. That might be her. Shout out to M. Leezy. Quilly says, let me know when AEW comes back to Buffalo and I'll go to that. At least I know it will be a good time and worthy wrestling show. And you won't have to pay $5,000 to sit and roll Triple XZ, man. M. Leezy says, get Robert Stone off my TV during TNA Impact. God, I hate what's becoming of TNA and aka WWE Light. That's a fact, man. They're even making TNA less luxurious than NXT. They're making NXT up here as far as hierarchy and putting TNA down here. I can't call it, man. Sir Quill says, is Bianca or Naomi going to be part of the corporate ministry? I don't know. You got me laughing right now. Listen, guys, SmackDown's about to start in 10 minutes. I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your Friday night to rock with me, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure you check out me and Conrad this coming Monday night, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time, for Clash of the Podcast. I am so fired up, man. Listen, as annoyed as I am with WWE storyline and backstage politics, as much as I'll continue to God willing, support pro wrestling and hope that this thing can turn around. AEW is doing pretty well. TNA's kind of like under the WWE thumb, so that doesn't really count. New Japan's lost a lot of stars, so it's pretty much AEW killing it right now. WWE is still making the most money, but just because you make the most money does not mean you're the best. So with that being said, God bless. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be encouraged, and always remember, evil, it never prevails. Until next time, I'll see you guys Monday. Peace and blessings, y'all.